Advent is a season filled with good feelings, nostalgia, a lot of sentimentality with the music, with the decoration and everything. Little baby Jesus, we're awaiting the coming of this sweet baby Jesus, and it's, nice. But it also has a tanginess to it, okay? It's kind of a salty. It's kind of a little zap in the readings here this weekend. This is a cattle prod, a real jolt. And they're meant to kind of shock us awake. Because Advent season is not, it kind of has a double sense. Yes, we're remembering that period of expectation for the arrival of the Son of God into this world the first time, but it has a double meaning, okay? So at the same time during Advent, we are also anticipating His second coming. So hence the readings today, that's exactly what our Lord's talking about here. He's talking about the days of Noah. And that's a real jolt to the system to think about Noah. The flood came and washed them all away. You know where we get the word cataclysm? From this Noah event. It's directly related. The word cataclysm in Greek literally means a flood coming down. Okay, and it's derived from this event, that very word. So I want to talk about cataclysms because, our Lord uses this shock technique and it's pretty effective to wake people up thinking about cataclysms. If you're going to wake up, I'll tell you the other night what woke me up. I watched this show on one of my favorite shows on the Science Channel, How the Universe Works. That's where I get all my space stuff I always share with y'all. And I was watching one of those things, an episode having to do with disastrous things that could happen to planet Earth, from outer space. And I tell you what, man, I couldn't sleep after watching that thing. So I thought, well, I'm going to scare me. I'm going to scare y'all. You're all going to be so scared when I get done with you. You're going to stay awake tonight thinking about this. So this is good stuff. There's a lot of things floating around in the universe. We think we're so safe down here. But our little tender pink body, my little tender pink body, and my little lazy boy recliner looking at this, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm on this spinning rock hurtling around in the universe and rotating around orbiting this big nuclear bomb in the sky, the sun. And wow, it's kind of scary to pan out and think there's things floating around, junk in space, and they could come down here. They hit us all day long, little particles of things. That's where we get shooting stars. Well, sometimes big chunks come down here. There was a big one in 1908 that struck in Siberia with the explosive power of 1,000 nuclear bombs that exploded in the air over this uninhabited region of Siberia, knocked down, completely leveled an area of trees the size of the Washington, D.C. Beltway, okay? And then only 6 years ago, another one struck in poor Siberia, and you can see pictures of it on video of this on YouTube all over the place, because a lot of people captured this footage because it was in a habitable place where people were living, this town where this thing came flying out of the clouds, this ball of fire with this trail behind it, this 6-story building basically going 40,000 miles an hour, this chunk of space rock, and it blew up way up in the air over this town, and the sonic blast blew the windows out of the town. 1,500 people were injured from broken glass and falling debris from this thing. So did I get everybody's attention with that one? If not, set your alarm, because tonight at 11:58 there's going to be one just outside the DC Beltway, like an SUV-sized meteor supposed to hit. Just FYI. Just kidding. I made that up. I'm just kidding. All right, now how about this other chunk of rock that's floating around there? It's called Apophis. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they named this asteroid after this Egyptian serpent god of darkness and chaos. I'm like, man, if it wasn't scary enough already, they named this thing Apophis, all right, which is this great big 4 football field wide chunk of rock that is going to make 100 passes. There's 100 opportunities for it in its lifetime, to collide with planet Earth. And Russian scientists project that the highest likelihood of a strike from this thing, which would hit with the cataclysmic explosive power of 65,000 nuclear bombs. We're talking mass extinction, folks. This would be like a game over type of experience. If this thing ever hit us, this, what's it called? Apophis. All right. So I want you to lay in bed tonight under the covers and think about that. Now, 2068 is when they think it has the highest probability of striking the Earth. I mean, it's not a huge probability, but the strongest probability. And I'll be 99 years old. So if I make it that far, I'm going to be really irritated. I'm like, man, I want to get to 100. That thing got to come in and strike here right now. Hey, it's game over if that thing ever hits. And it just makes us feel vulnerable. And maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, for us to feel our vulnerability. Anything could happen at any time to our little tender body. Eternity is just a blink away. So I'll tell you, there's something about the uncertainty of things that just puts it out of our mind. It's very easy to brush it off and not think about it and just kind of dismiss it. It's far-fetched, Meteor's not going to hit my house tonight. I don't have to really worry about this. That's ancient biblical stuff, floods and ancient times and stuff. And dinosaurs, that was 65 million years ago or whatever the heck it was. Something like that's not going to happen. It could happen. It could happen. We could have all kinds of natural disasters. But the problem is if it's indefinite, we just kind of don't think about it very much. Low probability. What if it was definite, though? That's kind of what our Lord's playing around with. If you knew exactly when you were tipped off when that thief was coming, there's going to be somebody breaking into your house tonight, man, you'd be ready with the shotgun waiting his arrival. And it'd be a whole different state of mind of preparedness if we knew we were going to die. And when you get with people who have a terminal diagnosis, and when I'm around these people, it's fascinating. There it's imminent, okay? And they know it's coming down range. They see the finish line ahead. And it's a fascinating thing to be with people like that. The rest of us, our death, we don't really believe in our death. We don't really believe in the coming of the Son of God into this world, but I'm telling you, what if we knew? What if we knew? It's just an interesting thing to play around with. What if they find out in 2067 there's a consensus in the astronomical community that sucker Apophis is going to hit the Earth? Now we know, and we're almost certain it is going to strike our planet in 1 year's time. Imagine what that would be like, the wake-up call for everybody in the world. We all know it's game over in 1 year. Mass extinction, incineration, 65,000 nuclear bombs going off, nuclear winter for anybody that survives. Okay. Wow. Can you imagine the churches would be packed like they were after 9/11? What a wake-up call that would send through everybody, the whole world, all of us. We got 1 year. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. I just like thinking about that because it's fascinating, and they make Hollywood movies out of these types of things. It would be a great novel, but to imagine people's reaction, things that seemed so important to us before would just fade into total insignificance. Our Lord kept trying to wake people up. Come to the wedding feast. Oh, I'm not really interested. He went off. One to his business, another to his farm. Oh, I just bought a field and some oxen. I just got married. I got some other things to do. They're not interested. We're just absorbed with all this minutia, and the grand equation of things doesn't amount to much at all. Our Lord's trying desperately to wake us up. Okay, these are probabilities. These aren't possibilities. These are certitude. We have certitude about these things. Our Lord says, when the Son of Man will come. It's not probable. It's going to happen. Someday our Lord's going to come with his angels on the clouds of heaven. Could be in our lifetime, could be in 5 minutes. It's going to happen. He came the first time. He said he was going to come, and he did. So we have a precedent now that he's faithful to his word. He is the word. And he said he's coming back again. And we have his word on this, the word of the word, saying, I'm coming back again. I think we can take him at his word. He's coming back at some point. We are going to have to stand before the Son of Man. Pray that you may have strength to stand before the Son of Man, our Lord says. We're going to be standing, every single one of us in here. One way or another, we're going to stand before the Son of Man, individually, each one of us, to receive our own particular judgment. When will that happen? At the end of time? Every single person in here, our heart's going to stop beating at some point. We're going to stop breathing. Got to keep reminding of ourselves of that fact. We don't believe in our own death because it's indefinite. We don't know when it's going to happen. But if we knew when it was going to happen, that would totally change our attitude. What a wake-up call. If we were told the day and the hour, wow, what a difference that would make. Suddenly it will become all too real. But because it's indefinite and, we don't know the day or the hour, we don't think about it. And we pretend like it's... Our Lord doesn't want us to be like that. He wants to send this jolt through our system to shock us awake. Stay awake. Shake off your lethargy, your laxity, your mediocrity, apathy. We're just going to shake that stuff out because this is certain fact. Our Lord wants us to get woke.